Hey everyone, welcome to Millennium Computer's online 5-minute tutorial series. Today's course is going to demonstrate one of the coolest new features in, I think, quite a while, and this is available now in all applications as of version 4.3.15. Now, you've heard probably at some point about the concept in FAST called dynamic selections, and it's a super powerful function, very, very useful, but was often only available at the administrative level. So now what we've done is we've created an ad hoc version of dynamic selection reporting at the end user level. So I'm going to walk you through how to use ad hoc or column level dynamic selections. So I'm going to work today in student reporting and just give you a brief sense of how this function might be used and some different ways to capture and view your results. So I'm going to run my multi-class list, and the filter options I've included here include a function-based filter of current term. I've selected a subject code of chemistry. I've selected a course number like 2. So in other words, I'm trying to capture all of my 200 level chemistry courses. And I've also included a schedule code of laboratory only. So I'm trying to just take a look at the students right now that are registered in a lab section of a chemistry course for this term. So I'm just going to run this by executing the report. So I've got now a generated result of 142 records. What I want to do with this is basically grab this list of students and apply it quickly against another report. So really what I'm trying to do is grab these 142 student IDs and apply them against some other report to learn something else about them. So traditionally, if you've even had access to the function, you would use dynamic selections, but then you would be forced to save that selection, give it a title, map the columns, and so on. What I want to do is just quickly run this on an ad hoc basis, and this is something you might want to do time and time again. So to capture this now, let's just click on Student ID. And you'll notice now a new drop-down has been added to the column level options. I'm going to click Create Dynamic Selection. So now I get a little worksheet, and I have the option of changing the name to something that I might want to assign to it, and I can also assign this a description. Now here's the real catch. Under expires, there are a few options. End of today, which is going to be the default, end of tomorrow, end of this week, or never. This is designed ideally to be used on an ad hoc basis. I would suggest, for the most part, leaving this to end of today. If you choose a different option, like never, there's a few more mapping steps going to be involved. We're going to cover that in the full-length video series, but I want to just give you a quick sense of how to run this on an ad hoc basis. So let's go ahead and leave this with the default name. We've got a brief description, and this is going to expire at the end of today. So in other words, when I get into work tomorrow, it's going to be gone. Let's save this now. So now what do I do with it? Well, I pretty much can do whatever I want with it at this point. Let's go back to filter options. And then what I want to do is change the parameters here just a little bit. I'm going to get rid of my lab section, and I'm going to change this to lecture. Now, the most important part of this is I want to pull in now those 142 students in the form of a dynamic selection. So obviously I don't want to have to key in all those 142 records in the student ID field. I want to actually just pull them in one shot. So let's click the FX button. And now let's find that selection that we just created. There may be a couple in here, so keep in mind the longer that data set takes to draw just means there could be more dynamic selections available today than there were yesterday, for instance. Here's the selection we just made, and I know that because when I click on it, the description populates and I see that pre-configured value of 142 records. So let's select that and pull it into our query. Now what I'd like to do is click the not equals to radio button. So what I'm asking FAST to pull me back for the same term, same subject, and same level, I want to make sure all the students are correctly registered in both a lecture and a lab section for this course. So let's run this and see what happens. So now I know I have a total record of 69 students registered in a lecture, but not registered in the lab component. And the easiest part about this is now I could send out a targeted email either to one student or to the whole list of students to make sure they get registered before the start of class. This is something you can run time and time again, and if you choose to not save your selections, they'll just simply vanish at the end of each business day, allowing you to start fresh the next day and run as many dynamic selections as you want to against any of your baseline fast reports. I hope this has been a helpful introduction to the brand new and very cool feature of Ad Hoc Dynamic Selections.